Hugo, your harness has been completed. So, bit of a weird one, this one. So 3UZ, 6-speed automatic configuration with transfer case. Okay, so, or transfer case actuator. So we basically broken down the whole harness and added in what we needed to, reconfigured it to suit exactly what you're busy building. Okay, so I'm going to start you at the back. You can see everything's basically been broken down. We've taken off all of the original Toyota stuff. So this is a reconfigured OEM harness. Okay, basically taken off all of their spragging and whatever, all their brackets, all of that crap, and put all of our own stuff on. Okay, so you've got new woven roving for all of your connectors, for your injectors, coils, cam sensors, everything right the way through the thing. New seals, new terminals, okay, and in some cases new connectors. Obviously we've tried to save whichever connectors are still reusable. Okay, everything's very self-explanatory on where it goes. So you've got your 8, your 6, your 4, your 2 injector, and the same thing with all of your coils. That's your VVT cam sensor. You have a connector at the back here. Toyota used to put it on the back of the back engine hook here. That is for your variable intake length. You'll see when you start the engine, this valve at the back will actually pull down, and what it'll do is, I think it's 3,000 RPM. It'll change. It's got a row of butterflies in your intake manifold. Okay, and it basically changes the length of your intake manifold or your intake ports. Okay, and then running through here, you got your EFI water temp sensor. We add this in. This is a single probe water temp sensor that you can screw into that stopper plug over there. If you need the part numbers or whatever, let me know, but it's a pretty standard Toyota sensor, that. And you may need to calibrate that. You just need to look at the resistance values and whatnot, but you may need to calibrate that according to whichever cluster you're using. VVT oil control valve, right hand bank, and then you have your throttle body, 6-pin throttle body coming off there. Coming down here, you've got 3 branches. Okay, the one will go to your airflow meter. Okay, 5-pin connector for your airflow meter. You have a secondary one here that is to do with your alternator. So you've got a 4-pin alternator on your motor. All of these, so this is basically to excite it and whatnot, and then obviously for your charge light. That's all supplied within your client plugs. Okay, and then you've got your third one that goes down to your right hand O2 sensor. Okay, very important that is plugged in. You've got an earth bracket on the back here. You got one on the right hand head, and you got another one over here on the left hand head. So just make sure both of those are plugged in. I don't have a sub harness on yours, so we've just put in a bridge, because on our motor we've got a different connector. So this is just a bridge harness so that we can activate your starter motor. So it needs to be activated from your engine harness, okay, because that gets done within your fuse box. And then this goes down to your sub harness. Okay, this side exactly the same thing as the other side. All your injectors, all of your coils. And again, you've got your, get that out of the way, you've got your VVT cam sensor. This that I moved is to do with your evap. So this has been removed from the ECU, but it is still functional. So if you do use it, great. If you don't use it, it's not going to bring up a DTC. Left-hand oil control valve runs down, pre-VVT cam sensor, runs down, splits off, goes to your aircon compressor clutch. Now yours is a 2-pin. This is a variable stroke compressor that you are running. Okay, so you may need to put a 4.7 ohm resistor so that you get full stroke. I think it's 4.7 ohm. I will double check that for you. Just let me know if you need help with that. But it's basically a variable resistance compressor. We'll take these connectors. Okay. And then running down here, it goes to your crank sensor, and then it branches off. So you've got 2 that run out here. It's actually plugged in, so it runs down, and it goes over there to your oil toy oil pressure switch. Okay. Let's quickly get into the transmission side of stuff. So running down, it comes out of the back of the motor, comes down, goes to your left-hand O2 sensor. Again, very important. Your management uses that. Rolls down, okay, and it's going to go over the transmission, right? And you've got your neutral safety switch, and then this is your input speed sensor, so your turbine speed sensor. Okay, I'm actually running a 5-speed motor. I've just changed the throttle body, so I can't plug in any of your gearbox stuff. Okay, so goes down, and here is your transmission solenoid connector and your output speed sensor. Okay, and then we've extended all of this now for your transfer case for all of your actuators. So difficult to know how long you needed this, so we've made it rather long than short. So we've made this, and you've got all of your sensors on here. So you've got your low or high. I think that's your low or high, but it's all documented in your client folder. So there's a couple of those switches. There's another 2. You've got your 5-pin actuator, okay, and then you've got a 3-pin connector over here for your vehicle speed sensor. Okay, so all of that's built into your engine harness, and you'll see you get all of that in your client plug. So basically, comes down, it comes out of your motor, tees off. This goes down to your fuse block. So there's your fuse block. Just open this lid. And you have all your fuses, so everything's basically separately fused. Okay, so you've got ignition, you've got your coils, you've got your injectors, you've got your sensors, you've got your throttle by wire, you've got your fuel pump, you've got all of that good stuff. Okay, engine light. So this is a duplication of what you would have on your instrument cluster. This should never come on unless you switch your ignition on without the engine running, or if there's a problem. Okay, starter motor or starter relay. You've got your fuel control relay. So your fuel control relays are going to give you 2 options. Well, they work in conjunction with each other too. Depends on what you're building it into. Okay, so the one gives you a positive. It gives you about I think it's 10 amps, 10, 15 amps, or whatever. Positive output. The other one is a FC signal, which is a negative trigger, which a lot of the Toyota guys use to activate their original fuel system in their vehicle. And then you've got your EFI and your main relays. Everything is documented in the bottom of your fuse box lid. So anything in the future there, you've got to really squeeze these lids to get them on. There you go. Runs down. Oh, and then you've got a red cable coming out of the fuse box too. This goes directly to your battery positive. This is the main power supply for the system. Okay, so you can put a fusible link as this joins onto the battery. Probably a good idea to do that, just in case if it gets squashed or whatever the case might be. Yeah, so direct battery permanent positive. Okay, runs through, goes through a gland here that you can build a box for your ECU. Runs down, goes into your ECU. Your ECU has been flashed and reconfigured for the application, so you should have no DTCs on the system at all. Okay, I'm going to come back up here. This is a bridge connector, so this is for your shields, your shielded wires for your cam sensors. You don't need to do anything here. You just leave that plugged in. Okay. We don't remove that because of the type of wiring that's used in these connectors. They're pretty frail, and the way Toyota did it was 100% right. So we just don't mess with that. Coming down here, you've got all of your stuff that's been there for your configuration of your motor. Okay, so you've got multiple plugs coming out. Go through them all. You've got a 4-pin connector here. This is for your cruise control. Okay, so 2 of them will go down to your brake light switch, and the 3rd one will go to the actual setting stem. We give you obviously a pigtail for that. Okay, this one over here is for your transfer case. So only for your transfer case. Okay, so that's for the activation lights and for the control of that. You have this one over here. Oh, sorry, this is actually your transmission. So you've got your park, reverse, neutral, drive. You've got your S mode. You've got your shift up, shift down, and your speed. Okay, vehicle speed. Okay, and this one over here is for your transfer case. So this is everything to do with the actuator and yeah, just the transfer case control. This 12 pin connector over here, we give you a patch harness for that. So that's basically just straight plug in, and that'll plug into accelerator pedal and your OBD-II diagnostics. Just let us know which pedal you're using, because there are different plugs there. And then you got a 10 pin connector. This is to do with the engine, the start, the start, the crank signal, the fuel, you know, the positive, negative, or whatever, the fuel, FC, positive and FC. Rev counter, temperature gauge. You've got your oil light, you've got your charge light, you've got your aircon compressor clutch, and so all of this is documented. Okay, all of that'll be in your client folder. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. If you got any questions, you just let us know. I'm just going to pull this back down so that we can. And I've actually got our airflow meter here. So I'm just going to put that into that fitting. Airflow meter housing. Difficult doing this all with one hand, but anyway, there we go. Okay, so your plug needs to face forward, eh? If it's the wrong way around, it's obviously going to tell the ECU there's no air going into the engine, and it's not going to inject any fuel. So yeah, let's give her a run. Should all go smoothly, I think. I think everything's all plugged in. Haven't run it yet, but it should be all good to go. Tell you what, I'm going to switch on the ignition, and I've got the OBD-II here plugged in. So let's see if it reads the protocols. It should pick up. There we go. CAN. Okay, and this is a really shitty scanner, so I'm going to push the wrong thing. So it doesn't pick up which vehicle it is. It picked up the protocol, but it doesn't pick up which vehicle. So you've got to physically select it. So you get what you pay for, I guess. I've got a proper scanner, but it's oh, actually that time it did read it. So yeah, it's okay. So you're gonna have DTCs for transmission, okay? Because I don't have the transmission connector plugged in for the solenoids, okay? So yeah, let me quickly. I'm gonna quickly try and give me 1 second and we'll continue. We'll give it a test run and a DCC scan in a second. Okay, yeah, sorry, man. So, yeah, I just wanted to run through everything. So, yeah, I've got everything plugged in and plugged in the ECU, and yeah, just basically gone through everything. And yeah, let's give her a run here. And we'll do a run scan or DTC scan. for too long because I don't have a cooling system on here. But yeah, you should be all good. Let me know if you've got any questions, and we'll obviously guide you. Okay, but you should have no problem at all.